want the fans to have their seat. We want to score goals. We want to get momentum on our side. And then on the flip side is when we don't have the ball, we got to beat dogs.
Correa goes down and no real appeals for the penalty. James with a lot of pace stays on his feet. Looks like a likely yellow card, but advantage played. Edu Nice one-on-one and scores! A goal on his debut for the new number 10 in North Texas. And the visitors take the lead shortly before the half. Texas, though, rolled with the punches. They grab at least a point away from home and maybe more here. That's a great ball. Cut back one more time. And the visitors retake the lead. Nicholas Simmons with the final touch. And North Texas back in front late. He said he had a much quieter second half. That was until now. Great ball by Garcia, the history-making man.
Welcome. Good evening, everyone, on this Sunday evening. Get to talk about some FC Dallas and North Texas soccer. Get to be joined by good friends and, of course, hopefully you fans out there who have a question or two or a hot take or two that you want to get to after a busy weekend where FC Dallas drew at home against a very good Nashville SC side. And then just a little bit ago, we saw North Texas go up to Real Monarchs to open the season and end up with a 2-2 draw. Two of those goals there from debutants Eduardo Nice and Nicholas Simmons, who stellar performances, but some challenges to work through for that team. And they, of course, go on to lose the penalty shootout, but a 1 point on the road is not a bad start for their season as we look at a completely new team. We'll get into that, but of course, I'm Nathan. You can follow me at Afterburn Soccer. We welcome our buddy Collin back at Mr. Couve, and also Jose at El Chico Carmona.
What's up?
And Chris Winter should be able to join us here in a few minutes. We're holding a chair for him here on the stream. But if you have comments, you have questions, you have hot takes after a draw at home for FC Dallas, a draw on the road for North Texas, we're ready to hear them. We can get into a little bit of and as well as Gall, their reactions to the games this weekend. But let's get started with your reactions, Collin. Draws at home is not where this team wanted to be after dropping so many points. And there's Chris. Welcome, Chris at C Wintus. Good.
Hey, Chris.
What's going on, everyone?
Give us your thoughts just about that 0-0 draw at home for FC Dallas.
I mean, it's like I predicted last time. I predicted a draw. I'm not surprised by it at all. I just expected a couple of goals on either side. It's one of those things where I wasn't expecting, Sam Surge to catch the flu and be out. And you could definitely tell that Nashville was struggling without having their number 9 in there with Surge being out. And I expected Dallas to get 1 or 2 goals, and they had 2 really, really good chances. One in the first half with that Musa first-time shot, top of the box, and Schwake, fingertip save to where it literally floated in the air from right where he touched it and bobbled. Barely saved it, got anything on it. And then that Musa shot in the second half where he turns the keeper, the ball's falling to him, and he toe pokes it and it goes barely wide. In real time, it looked like a penalty, like it got taken out from behind, and that's why I thought he whiffed it, but he just scuffed it in real time. So it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. Nashville's a really good defensive team. There's a couple of key performances, which I think we'll probably touch later on, that I was definitely not impressed with, such as Bernie Kamungo getting absolutely torched all game and doing nothing going forward. As much as I was giving him praise last week at the beginning and saying he kind of fell out towards the second half, this game was one of the worst I've ever seen Bernie play, personally. But it's one of those things where thankfully Ibiaga was there behind him, able to coach him up, and he was trying to communicate, and Bernie kind of was listening, or like halfway listening, it looked like, from the stands. But enough for speculation. It was a good game. A way better defensive showing in the first game. A lot cleaner defensive half. A lot of people didn't like Kappas at the DM. I thought he was decent. with him playing more deeper and then distributing either out wide or to the dual eights in Delgado and Kaique. It's one of those things. I just think he would have been better if he was fully fit. You could definitely tell that leg was giving him some fits towards the end of the first half, beginning of the second half. But overall, I'll take it. Unlucky to not capitalize at the end there with Corcoran's red card, but I came in. If you told me we were going to have 4 points after the first 2 games, I would have taken that and ran, especially getting a point against this Nashville team, which could be, and I personally put in my predictions, second or first in the East this season. So I'll take a point at home.
Jose, what were your thoughts?
Mixed, really. In all honesty, you hate not getting 3 points at home, but Nashville is a very tough side. Certainly, even with the missing player, they're still a much better side than the Toronto squad that the team faced in Week 1. And I think you can tell from the game plan that the team decided that it would rather play good defense than play good offense. I mean, the game plan was, hey, we're not gonna give a goal up at home, and if we can get a goal, great. If not, it was honestly very reminiscent of what we saw at the end of last year, and it's hard to get excited after something like that, but people need to realize that Nashville is a very good team, a very tough team, and could have just as easily handed FC Dallas a loss. So, it's a draw. I grudgingly have to take it. And while everybody is crapping on Kamungo, I honestly don't think he was the worst player out there. I know everyone. He's just the guy that everyone's piling on right now. But Delgado, who I was very high on, he didn't play so hot himself, and not to pile it on, but I thought Farrington was kind of MIA, in all honesty. So when 2 of your attacking players disappear, it's kind of hard for me to pile on a defender when the defense had a shutout. So I want to say that Delgado struggled mightily, and Farrington had a quiet game by his standards, in all honesty, and it's hard to be happy with this, but I can't really be mad about it.
Chris, any thoughts on that home draw for FC Dallas?
Yeah, obviously you want more from your home games, but I think one positive takeaway was just that I felt like, for the most part, the back 3 looked better. I'm glad we finally moved more back over to the right side, and in my opinion, it kind of opens the door back up for Nolan Norris if he gets kind of back to form, kind of slotting back over to the left center back if Ibiaga isn't able to, contend for that starting spot. But, overall, I think Musso is great. Not scoring sucks, but shutting out one of the better attacking sides in the league, even though they were missing Surridge, I think that's a pretty positive takeaway, I think, from the game. So, I'll take the 0-0 draw. I think we kind of all saw that coming for the most part. Maybe not, not scoring a single goal, but, happy we didn't lose. It could have been much worse. I think that's my big takeaways. It could have been much worse.
Yeah, good. Good point. I think I've made my case. It's good to see the defense improve, especially. There were some questions and some mistakes in that opening match, and thinking ahead to going on the road to face Los Angeles FC, which is not going to be easy. Give you a little bit of confidence boost for this team to go in and say, hey, if we play well like that, we prevent Los Angeles from running out at us and snuff out some of those attacks. We increase our chances to come away with a point on the road, or maybe even sneak out a win. Not going to say it's going to be easy, but that was a big kind of sigh of relief, I think. And I think it's the positive take as fans. But yeah, I wasn't happy with how Delgado played. I guess there was some chatter that, it was kind of smart for Quill just because you kind of put a number 10 in. So when you brought in Valiente, there wouldn't have to be like a huge shift of tactics. But Delgado, he's young and he works hard, but and frankly, I don't know that the rest of his. I thought Kaike had a decent game, and Kappas is all right too, But I feel like there was work that you could tell like they were a little disjointed, perhaps. So there's still some question marks in this lineup. It's 0-0 draw. It's like there's a point where how much more do we talk about? Especially at home, it's tough, and yet we may look back and that's a pretty good point based on how Nashville goes on a run and starts decimating their opponents. We may look back and say, all right, points are points in this long season,
and held them all to one shot on target. Really, I mean that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So something positive, and let's go and hear from Quill, and he answered a question from Third Degree right off the bat, just about disappointment from the performance.
I love our fighting spirit, but we were not our best tonight. We all know that. The guys in the locker room. Nashville's a great side, which presents you a lot of problems, and we couldn't find our way through to get on the score sheet. Their keeper made a couple of really big saves for them. The one Pitar in the first half, and then Julio had a big opportunity in the second half that the keeper pulled out of the corner. But I felt like we just weren't clean enough in possession with the ball. We didn't move them around and find real quality looks. It was a bunch of half chances, and we know we can be better. I'm proud of our group, man. We're a good team, and that's a good team we just played, and we've got so much potential and growing to do, and we're going to do those things. We're going to take a look at it, and we're going to be better versions for ourselves next weekend. But I love nobody can ever fault the mentality of our group and the fight in them. So they fought tonight, and but it's early in the season, and we got some growing to do.
It's early in the season, we got some growing. And I think that's probably another positive that fans can take from this is just, it's going to be a long season. A lot of opportunity for this team to do better, to get pieces fitting right, figuring things out. But the fight still from last season, it's there, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see this team kind of battle it out, not and not back down from a team that on paper is better than them, but to show, hey, we can compete, we can make things happen. So good stuff. Some positives there. In other words, even if we're not happy with the 0-0 draw, some folks said it was a snooze fest watching from home. I hear you. Sometimes that is soccer, though. It's this beautiful, profound sport. And we'll talk about the LAFC game in a little bit. Let's close the show with that and maybe do some predictions. But I want to go and jump over to North Texas, which, while also settling in a draw and a penalty kick shootout loss, was a much different affair as far as energy, explosiveness, opportunities, dangerous opportunities, lots of debuts across this in this team, settling for that 2-2 draw again against Real Monarchs, who I think, Jose, you rightly pointed out, and they did on the broadcast that Real Monarchs had a great run. They're returning most of their team, a lot of continuity for that young side, and they were fourth last year in the Western Conference, so definitely above North Texas. But you saw North Texas come out and really just mess with them. Physically, get in their way, create some really awesome opportunities, but just lacking that little bit of extra quality, the extra patience, whatever it is, which you kind of expect with a team that's playing together, has only been playing together for the past few weeks, and even not all in this configuration, since some guys have been practicing with the first team. Chris, Jose, I know you guys are watching. Collin, you may not be able to catch up on all of it, but Chris, we'll start with you. Just how'd you feel about these debuts and this new look North Texas side?
Honestly, I was super happy with the performance tonight. I mean, obviously, you want to come away with 3 points, maybe even 2 points, 1 point. That's kind of literally the only downer in today's game because this team is so well balanced. It's obviously early, but compared to last season where, the tactics seemed to be sit back, let the other team just pepper you with shots, and then eventually just hope Sam Sarver can get a long ball over top and outrun someone. Tonight was completely different. Guys were stringing passes along through the different zones. I mean, it was fun to watch. The trio of Nice, James, Simmons is going to be fun to watch. My sort of big concern coming into the season was the way Simmons plays sometimes. He's not great with holding the ball up. He kind of does better when you get it to him out in space, and they were able to do that today quite a bit. And I don't know, man, this was just an exciting game to watch. And I think for anyone out there that's a North Texas fan, will be super excited just for if this is any indication of how the season's going to be, it's going to be exciting because, think about it too. You're missing Montoya, you're missing Swan, you're missing Augusto, potentially Ricky Luis, who might kind of be one of those guys who could be with FC Dallas, but just with the number of players with the first team, might get a lot of time with North Texas. I mean, there's a lot of talent, and that's an exciting thing for North Texas. So I'll let Jose kind of carry on the rest of it. But
yeah, what'd you think, Jose?
Yeah, actually, I agree with everything Chris said, and there was a difference between the first half and second half. The first half, you saw a lot of high pressing from North Texas, and they were really turning them over. The Real Monarchs had a ton of possession, but they really didn't do anything with it in the first half because of that press. That press was costing them really, really a lot of difficulties. They were really, really aggressive, and that might have worn the team out a little bit. I also agree with Chris that there's players that will become available for this team that weren't for whatever reason not available, and I think you could see that in the substitutions. I mean, really, they only 3 subs this match, and I think one was like once we went to extra time. In all honesty, so really only 2 subs, only 2 subs got significant minutes that I can think of. And I think that just goes to show that the team's still trying to, gel and come together, and getting just a point. I know it's just 1 point. We would have wanted 3. We saw that 3, escape from the grasp of North Texas late. But that's a young team for you on the road. It's very tough to keep it together, and a very exciting team. I was really just glued to my screen watching, trying to take it all in. It was a very exciting match. No shame getting a draw against Real Monarchs. Like I said, a team unlike North Texas that already knows who they are, what they're going to do, and one of the players that they're replaced last year was one of their starting attackers who played almost 30 matches for them and only scored 1 goal and 2 assists. So any guy they put in there, it's going to be an upgrade on that guy. Yeah. But they just couldn't deal with Barea, their top scorer. I mean, that guy was a handful. Still, their defense was also rock solid. Their defense had like 8 blocks. North Texas, they took 16 shots, and I mean, they had their opportunities, but my goodness, that it does feel like both teams should have scored more goals. But the defenses really did their job and put their bodies on the line to keep the game where it was. So, yeah, I can't complain. My hopes for this team are up. I think we saw a good showing on the road against a team that's a known quality, and knowing that there's still other players to arrive. North Texas doesn't feel like it's 100% yet. I think it's a good showing. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of academy talent in this one. A lot of guys that we've been waiting for a while to see. I mean, Slade Starnes on that back line is such an upgrade.
Slade
had.
Starnes
Yes.
was doing like his Urogidi imitation for North
That's
Texas.
right.
Something they lacked last year, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how this team will fare with having a backline general, which they really lacked last year. And you could really see him being a presence out there, and making some saves and whatnot. So I'm glad you brought him up. I forgot to bring him up.
Yeah.
And just one other thing to add it too, kind of with the part of adding a guy like Slade and their new signing Jonah Bigger, and then obviously potentially having Augusto there as well. This team just feels bigger. Like they feel more athletic. They feel. Last season you had some. You went with the 4 in the back, so you had 2, a left back and a right back that a little bit smaller in stature, but a little bit more, quicker. I don't know. It feels like a more athletic team, and that's kind of an exciting thing to see what Gall can do with his kind of coaching prowess. To see, can he mold some of these guys to be studs? So,
I agree with that. We've seen FC Dallas get bigger across their entire lineup, and you could see that with North Texas too. Like hey, they're trying to be like FC Dallas in more way than one, and some of the players out there look like men amongst children. So I'm very happy that they've actually added some size to that squad.
Shout out to Diego Garcia, long time, homegrown guy. Has been, it seems, 60th appearance for North Texas, and
Wow.
part of a nice spark off the bench. But really, a guy we've been waiting to see kind of take that next step for a long time. But of course, he's only 18 years old. Like it's still like he still has years ahead of him to kind of figure that out. I mean, that's kind of interesting. Just the guys available, the players available, the way they're seeming to approach, the way they're using the super draft, just to approach building out this team and creating some more opportunity. I mean, I was incredibly impressed by Nicholas Simmons. Natty James just seems like a sneaky darn good pickup. I mean, he was good in USL League One last year. Just see. One, you want to get these guys acclimated to a system and a physical system, and approach that's forward first and aggressive, a team mentality, and at the same time, you want to take flyers in North Texas on a guy who could be like the next Sam Sarver type, a guy who ends up either just adding some great competition and character to your first team, or turned out to be a missing piece who just needed a bit more development, right? A bit more time in the right setting. So, just see Natty potentially doing that. Nicholas, I mean, just gosh, I'm really excited about him, and it's gonna. And he needs some time. He just needs some time to season a little bit with North Texas and get a feel, get some confidence. And if Musa gets sold, you never know. We might be saying, hey Simmons, let's see what you can do with the first team. He has a size. He has some strength. I mean, I'm excited about this group. This was a lot of fun. It was a lot better than last year. Last year, gosh, it was some dreadful soccer at times. Some good soccer at times, but it was some tough nights. Collin, man, I know if you got a chance to catch you said you were at softball practice, so you may not.
Yeah, I was coaching that practice, and I had it going in the background, and I watched the first half. The second half, I was more pitching on the mound. So whenever I was waiting for the ball to get put back in field, and I was looking down at my phone in my right hand or on the ground next to me. So it's one of those things I was watching when I could. I feel like I'm going to be echoing a lot of what y'all said. My two biggest upsided players coming into the season for me were Edward Nis at camp. He's a really good playmaking 10. And this game for me, he showed why, we wasted, or I say, like everyone was saying, why are we wasting a, top, 20 pick on an international player who's going to take an international roster spot if he plays for Dallas because he's Belgian and yada, 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 doesn't have a green card, all this and that. And I was like, guys, we don't have a true 10 for North Texas. And if, years upon years, what has North Texas done? They've played the same way the first team does. That way they can develop players in those positions for in case players get sold or we need a backup. I mean, look at Sam Sarver. Sam Zarver went from winger in college to striker to winger striker. He played that hybrid last year when we were running the 4-2-3-1. He would come on as a winger. He played striker, and now he's playing wingback. So it's one of those things where you saw him play all those positions with North Texas last year as well. So it's not a surprise to me that North Texas was like, hey, or that SDL was like, hey, we need a 10. And really, for those type of positions, you either draft one or you sign one from another academy, or you go to people that have been kind of ejected or around MLS to get that type of player. And looking at the team, I mean, you could argue maybe Garcia can play because he can play and advance the ball well, but I don't think he's a 10. I think he's more of an 8, as we've seen him play for over 60 games for North Texas. They've played him at Cam, and he's looked lost a few times. So that's one player I was really excited for, and he did exceptionally well, in my opinion, for this game that I was able to see. Simmons, I think, is only going to get better if he has Lewis behind him instead of Contreras at right wing back. That is a combination, I will say. If Ricky Lewis plays at wing back like we saw him in preseason for the first team, I think Ricky Lewis and Simmons on that right side together are going to be disgusting and really hard to stop during this MLS Next Pro season. And then, like y'all said, Slade Sarnes, the size of that man. I saw him at media. We're doing the media shoot, and him and Swan were doing photos in the Inferno kit while me and Austin and we're doing photos from Matador in the new kits. And very down-to-earth guys, very, like, humble. I knew who he was. He literally was like, me? Like, you know me? Like, very humble kid, very awesome kid. He came from SMU, and knowing one of the assistant coaches out there, good old Patty, he watches the show sometimes. All I heard from him was great things, and he thinks that he could honestly start for SC Dallas in a year or two. He thought he was going to go the draft route and go really high in the draft. And it's one of those things where Slade had an option to not go through the draft and do just the homegrown status and all that kind of stuff. I forgot how he was acquired. Y'all could probably remind me later or after the show or whatever. But it's one of those things where it was always in the plan for him to go from SMU to Dallas into North Texas and then go up. That's one player that if Ibiaga loses a step, if Norris gets hurt, he might take that jump in that center back spot on the bench from Augusto, is what I'm hearing around the stuff. So that's why I'm hearing. Starnes is insanely good, and he showed it today. I mean, he only missed 2 passes. He had 9 clearances. I think he had the most defensive actions in the game by almost 6 actions total. The guy was just everywhere on the back line, like y'all said, an Urquide impression for sure. And he's one of those, I think, if it's going to be very similar to a Nico Gordon situation where if we don't give him a first-team contract, he might be gone this season. I seriously believe that, and he will definitely have eyes on him to either play for an MLS team next season or possibly go overseas.
Can we just talk about Collin's dedication, whether it be at GameStop or softball practice to catch games? Like, come on, guys, this is awesome.
Gotta lock in, bro.
That's why they call you down. That's why they call you to make that trip and get that in your modeling career that's taken off. Like, man.
Oh, man.
And by the way, real quick, I did a quick. Let me pull it up. Sorry. Just because I think we're going to learn a lot of stuff this season, but Edu Nice, okay, I think so. We're all nice. We're Edu, and in fact, Gall referenced him. He thought that Edu was fouled late in the game and it wasn't called. So anyway,
I agree.
We're going to have to learn.
I want to add though that I feel like this season's North Texas squad has way more players than I can recall in a long time that could potentially help the first team. I mean, just on the back line alone, you got Starnes, you got Alvaro, then you've got Torquato, and don't forget the 2 injury guys in Newman and Giovanni, and of course Simmons looked like he's needs some polishing, but you can see the signs. And Nice, this FCD has shown that they will find time for a player that can create. And if Nice does it consistently at North Texas, FCD will be more than happy to give him a look with the senior squad. So I feel like this North Texas squad, I mean, the upside of some of these players is the best I've seen since probably their very first season in existence. And I'm not saying they're at that level, but I'm just saying players that I feel could get minutes, get looks with the senior team as early as this season. There seem to be a lot of those players from North Texas this year. I'm pretty excited for it.
Let's jump over real quick. Here's Gall after the game. Chris and I were able to talk to him kind of about his mixed emotions after the performance.
Moment. Really proud of our team to come here and score 2 goals. And in all honesty, I think should have scored 3 or 4 more in the game. Some clear chances that another day we'll put away. To be able to come here and score 2 goals and create the chances that we created, just really, really happy with the group. A really positive performance that ultimately is disappointing the way that you go into penalty kicks and then lose the game. Lose the point, is frustrating and difficult. And I know it happens both ways, but I'm disappointed for the players because I thought that we did enough to win the game. I thought that we were the better team today. And I thought that we showed a lot of positive things that got me really excited about this group.
Yeah, so right with you, Coach. Mixed emotions. It's one of those games you'll look back on and say, "What if?" An extra toe, extra foot here, extra step, a pause. But it's also a game I think that reflects. It's only 6 weeks of preseason, he said, and some of the guys didn't even get a chance to spend the whole preseason together. And there will be some movement between the first team and this team. And one of the interesting things he said that I thought was fascinating, Chris, and was that the guys who are coming in, there's a hunger and there's an ambition and there's a fight for the team that the guys who are coming down from the first team aren't going like, this is the second team, but they're coming down with an intensity and a focus and thinking of North Texas as a first team, as just an opportunity to really to showcase what they can do as an extension of it and a buy-in that is one team. This whole thing is one team, which is an interesting little thing for him to say because I had a good conversation with him the past couple of years and he never said anything like that about a group of guys. So there's something special that could happen with this group, right? Chris, did you get that sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think I've even noticed it at some of the preseason games too. Like, not only players coming down, but players coming up. This team is definitely using a lot of academy players, and it just feels like the camaraderie between everybody amongst all levels in the FC Dallas organization. It just feels like there's an understanding that North Texas is more than just the B team here. It's a team that wants to compete in MLS Next Pro. And, I think guys, when they realize they get the opportunity to play here, there's a path forward to play for FC Dallas. So you buy in here and, the sky's the limit for you. So I totally agree seeing the intensity and the camaraderie that it feels a little bit different than last year.
Well, good. Well, let's start to wrap up the show. Let's close out with some predictions, and of course, we should add North Texas. Thinking about North Texas as well. Of course, FC Dallas will be traveling out here to the West Coast to take on LAFC, who are in excellent form right now. Gosh, it's gonna be a late one. Now, I'll be out here covering the game in person. Sun and Buanga and these guys are looking as good as they ever have. So it's one that gives me a little bit of nightmare for this team. Kind of glad that it's early in the season and it's not like a gut punch later in the year when we're maybe pushing for opportunity. North Texas will play roughly, a little bit before that against Colorado back at Choctaw Stadium, I believe. I'm checking on that now. Yes, at Choctaw.
Yep, they play Rapids 2 at Choctaw.
Rapids 2, yeah, so it should be an interesting one there too. So we'll touch that. But let's talk about FC Dallas versus LAFC. I mean, is this one you guys would be tempted to like have a backup plan? Like if it goes one way, you say, well, I'm going to go out and have a beer with a friend and I'll check up on the game later. Or is it one, hey, we're gonna dial into this regardless, even if it gets a little messy. Of course, could be all right. I mean, the way FCS play defensively, I'm a little bullish on that for that reason. But I am nervous about the offensive improvement that will be needed in this one to take advantage of a counterattack or two, because they'll be there. This is a tough one, but I got to go with a loss. I think a 2-1 loss. I do think Dallas gets one back and pushes for an equalizer, but just comes up short. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. 0-0.
Okay.
It'll be a draw. They're going to see what they did against Nashville. They're going to say, hey, I think we can replicate that. It ain't going to be pretty. And I'm more worried about, shenanigans with the refs. You saw Houston get, 2 red cards? And I could see us getting a red card. And that's honestly my biggest concern is something like that hitting this squad. In which case, then the draw would be out the window. But I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw.
All right.
Goof.
I mean, I second Jose's little. I second Jose's little red card statement, because look what happened to Emma Tumasi in 23. I mean, man did nothing wrong. I got a straight red. I'm going. Man, do I sound crazy in saying it's going to be a 1-goal loss? Whether it's 2-1, 3-2, whatever. And the reason I say that is this is an LAFC team that, against best defensive records in the MLS last season, were scoring 2 or 3 goals on average. If you looked at their, I think it was whenever they played top 10 defenses, they scored more goals against top 10 defenses than bottom 5 defenses last year when they played them, which is a crazy stat to think about when they had the firepower back then of Bouanga and Son towards the end of the season. For me, look, history repeats itself, right? We've lost by 1 or 2 goals to LA every game on the road in LA. We've never gotten a result there. I want to say we might have had a draw there. We drew, I think, our first time playing there in 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a team that I look at the offense and I look at their defense too, and they're going to have Nkosi Tafari probably man-marking Musa all game. And the reason I say that's a good matchup is because Kos is never going to be back down. He's always going to give it his all and basically try to piss you off. That's his game, is to get in your head. And Musa probably won't let him get in his head, but it's one of those things I think is just going to be a good matchup all night long. Both 6'3" and 6'4" height ranges, same body sizes. I think it's just going to be a good matchup. And if Farrington has another game like they did against Nashville, if Bernie, heaven forbid, Bernie has another game like last time, even though Ibi was there to help back him up, when's the last time we've seen Ibiaga have 2 good performances like that back-to-back? I don't ever remember him having 2 good performances like that back-to-back. I just think the stars have aligned a little too kindly for Dallas so far this season, and that's 2 games in. So I think it's going to be a reality check. I could see us drawing, like Jose said, and it's going to be ugly as hell. But I'm gonna go with my soccer brain and try to turn off my fandom brain and say we lose by probably 1 goal. I'd go 2-1 if I had to put a score line on it.
All right, Chris.
Guys, it's clearly going to be a 3-0 win us. No, I'm just kidding. I think, unfortunately, I thought about this game. I think I'm going to go 2-0 loss. Reason being, I think similarly to how we played Nashville, almost kind of like a park the bus mentality, and then we were just looking for long balls over top. I think, unfortunately, they're going to try and do that again, and I think the attacking duo of Son and I don't know how to pronounce his other striker's name, but I think they're just going to be too good for the back line. And I think, to Collin's point, Ibiaga's only gifted so many good games throughout an MLS season, and I think it'll just be one of those nights where we're looking for positives in the small details rather than coming home with more than 1 point. So,
yeah, I think even a loss, I mean, you don't want to say, a loss was productive or anything, but there is a chance that Quill, shakes up some of the lineup for this and say, we're going against a good team. It's on the road. We're still trying to get the pieces to fit. We're trying to give. This might be an opportunity to give Ricky Luis his first start and be like, look, this is going to be tough battle, but go out and just play your game and make something happen, And so it could be, not a great performance for the team or a tough loss, but there could be positives that we'll go to say, hey, I think this midfield configuration, I think, a different wingbacks, there's something intriguing there that is going to help this team have some further answers down the line. So we'll see. I mean, if you wanted to start some guys, switch it up. This is not a bad game, to go for it, and even to get Nolan his first start of the year or something like that. But then that's also tough to face that attack with a crew that are just starting to build familiarity. We'll see.
Yeah, and this is a team too that I'm a stats guy. Y'all know that. Son has not scored a goal, but everyone in their front six, and that's their cam, left mid, right mid, striker, 2 DMs, has a goal involvement, whether it's a goal or an assist. And that's something that, frankly, Dallas doesn't have in their locker either. So it's one of those things where LA can get you from anybody on that front six. And they have 2 good center backs that can get their head on the ball and 2 wing backs that good service. It's one of those things where Dallas is going to be on their A game like they were against Nashville to even sniff a point. And I think they can do it, but history has not been kind to us when they should be able to do things and they don't. So,
well, all right, let's close out. North Texas welcomes Rapids 2, also Saturday a little bit earlier in the evening, so it'll be a full and fun day. And Rapids have already lost. They lost to Houston Dynamo 2-0. It's interesting that, just from the stats, comparing the stats, that North Texas outshot Rapids on the road, so interesting little nugget there. But you got to win this one. You got to win this at home. You got to see these guys take a little more confident step forward. So I think it's going to be dominant. So 3-0 win for North Texas.
I'm feeling the confidence, and I see North Texas winning a very confident game, but I'm going to go 2-1. I think it's still early in the season. I still think there's some things to be worked out. As we saw, tonight, they can still give up goals, unfortunately, but I think they'll be better, and I think they do handedly beat Colorado 2-1.
I'm going to go 4-0. Colorado Rapids they're fielding a really young team. I mean, they reinforced their squad, which wasn't a very good squad to begin with. We're talking like 15-year-olds, 16. This is a very green squad on the road. They just went to Houston, which is, I'm not sure how good Houston's going to be this year, but they are a tough team at home. North Texas is the same kind of squad. They're very tough to beat at home. And I don't know that the Rapids have the firepower to even score one goal. I mean, if they're going to score, it's going to come off, the North Texas basically committing an error, which is possible. They are a team still gelling, but I would be surprised if this game is not a rout, in all honesty. And I mean, I'm 2-0 seems more realistic. I'm just talking about a young team on the road. It's very easy to get demoralized, and I could see that happen to the Rapids. If North Texas doesn't win 4-0, it's because they had a lot of chances and just didn't finish. But I expect that they will. I expect them to. I mean, they have 16 shots on goal, 16 shots this match. I think 8 of them were on goal, something ridiculous like that. It was 6 or 8, something like that. They do that against the Rapids U23 squad, and at least half of those are going to go in. So I'm expecting a big win. I'm trying not to be too big of a fan, but I'm saying it's more having to do with Rapids being on the road with such a young squad.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be a big win. Colorado's back line tonight. I think it was an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 19-year-old, and a 22-year-old. 22-year-old being their Australian center back. I think they just brought in this year. If not, he played like late last year. Um, Goalkeeper's 18. The other subs, they had a 15-year-old come on. It's a very young, inexperienced team. Um, it's one of those things. I look at North Texas how they play tonight against a better team in next pro, and Monarchs. And like Nathan pointed out, they outshot them. I think it was 18-10 with 8-4 shots on targets, and 13 of those shots were in the box. It's not like they were just shooting from deep and praying and hoping like they did a lot last season early on. So it's one of those things where I 100% I agree. I think it's going to be a 3-0 win. That goalkeeper too. Some of the goals I was seeing on Twitter that goalkeeper conceded from Colorado. My God, he had a shocker. Dude was just in La La Land picking daisies in the 18-yard box because dude was not there. It's one of those if it's a 1-0 win, it's a disappointment for me. If it's a 2-0 win, I'll take it, but it's still sad. If it's not a convincing 2-0 or plus win, I'd be disappointed in North Texas. So I think it's going to be a 3-0 win, personally.
Agreed.
You realize
Great.
now it's going to be we're going to lose by 1 or something because everybody
No,
was
it's
like,
going to be 0-0 draw and we go to pins and win and just
Exactly.
blow out on pins 4-1 or something.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
that's why that's why we do have to be careful, pace ourselves a little bit, even after tonight. I mean, there's so much good about that. It was so much fun, and yet, there was some disappointment, and of course, it's going to take time.
I just want to add that my the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because they played a very veteran squad by MLS Next standards. They played a pretty solid veteran squad that had their act together and defended their hearts out. I don't expect that from Rapids. I'll be shocked if they do that. I'm not saying they can't do it. I mean, they could just simply turtle up and just say, hey, we're just gonna drop all guys into the box and not let you guys score. I could see that happening. I mean, that's possible, but I'm just saying the team I saw today against the opponent they played and against who they're going to play next week, it's night and day.
All right, good. Well, let's leave it there. Appreciate the time tonight. The schedule change, but typically we go Mondays, but we'll see how that flows with this hectic schedule coming up this month. But lots of soccer to look forward to. Of course, we'll be covering the game from BMO Stadium in LA. Try to bring you some extra insight. It should be a fun one. Should be interesting to see the international coverage that's even more prominent now with Sun Heung-min in the house. It's going to be a lot of fun, and of course a lot of fun to see how North Texas develops a bit. Collin, Chris, Jose, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Night.
All right. I think I'm gonna